Hi, my name is Shelby Daly. I'm the Technical Director and Strength and Conditioning Coach here at Southern Performance Volleyball Academy in Birmingham, Alabama. Today we're going to talk about several different hip stretches and lower back stretches to prevent any lower back pain and any ACL tears. In women across the country, no matter if they play sports or if not, hip pain and joint pain in our hips and lower back is always a problem, especially in elite volleyball players. So today we're going to go over several static stretches. We do this after our dynamic warm-up, in practice, and then after practice. However long you have, you can determine what you want to do count-wise, but for a couple of our stretches you want to double it. But at the minimum, at the end of practice, you want to be at 15 seconds. All right, so some of our first stretches that we always want to do is touching our toes. And what that does, it relieves a lot of our back pain. Most lower back pain that occurs happens from tightness in our hamstrings. So we're going to go ahead and have you guys touch our toes. We go very slow. We spread our feet and we keep our chest forward. Good, and our shoulders back, and we want to poke our rear ends toward the back wall. Good, and when we get down, we don't start our count until we get down to the floor, okay? So we're going to go for a count of 10, all right? Here we go, let's hear it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Good.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, it's really important while we're doing this, hold for just a second, girls, it's really important that we keep our legs nice and straight, all right, and our chest almost to our knees. All right, so that's always our first stretch we want to start with. Then we're back up slow and we roll our backs up. Good, take it nice and slow. Good. So the next movement we're going to do is we're going to isolate one hamstring. So we're going to have one foot in front of the other. Let's go ahead and have our left foot in front. Good. And then we're going to slowly go down. We're going to touch our left foot, slowly go down with our back straight. Good. And we're going to try and touch our front foot. Good. Good. And we're going to keep going until our chest is as close as it can get to our knees. Good. All right. And then we start our count, but we want to make sure that both legs are straight and we're shifting our weight on our back foot. All right. This is to get our hip flexors. Good. And then our back as well. Backs get really tight. Okay. Now let's hear a count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good. All right. And then we slowly come back up, rolling our back, starting from the bottom. Good, and then we unroll our shoulders. All right, now let's switch feet. Okay, we want to make sure both toes are pointed forward and both feet are underneath our shoulders, all right? So let's go down. As we go down, we want to slowly shift our weight on our back foot. Good, girls. Good, once our chest is as close as it can get to our knee, then we start our count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, and slowly roll it back up. Good. All right, so our next stretch that we're going to do, we're actually going to get it on the ground. All right, so we're going to go in a wide V. We did this earlier today. All right, wide V. So there's preparation for a stretch. You don't ever really want to get into a stretch and immediately start stretching. We want to make sure our body's nice and aligned. So here we're going to do our V stretch. All right, so we're going to go out. Our shoulders are going to be back, our chest is going to be forward, and then we're going to inch our pelvis forward as much as we can. All right, getting a full extension in our hips. All right, then we're going to reach as much as we can out, slowly going out, inching ourselves forward. Good. Keeping our knees and our heels on the ground the entire time, and then we stretch. Then we count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, then we slowly come back up. All right, our next stretch, we're going to focus on our hip flexors and then as well as our upper body. And one thing that we need to be able to have a lot of is flexibility in our trunk. We do a lot of different movements. We're forced to be getting square to one position while we throw our trunk in another. So right now we're going to go out wide. We're going to inch our pelvis forward as much as we can. All right, we're all going to go to our right. All right, so we're going to grab our right foot with our right hand. All right, we're going to get our shoulders perpendicular to the ground as much as we can, so one shoulder on top of the other, and then we're going to take our opposite hand, reach, and not aim for the foot, but aim for the floor in front of the foot. All right, so we're going to pull here. Good. So we want to make sure that our chest is open. Good. Chest is open. Nice. All right, now let's hear a count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, and then we slowly come back up to neutral. Good, and we take a breath. All right, and then we're down to the other side. So we want to inch our hand out. While we're inching out, we keep our shoulders perpendicular to the ground, and we reach for the ground in front of our foot. Good. This also works with balance. There we go, guys. Good. Now let's hear a count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good. All right, then we come slowly back up. All right, so whatever we do with our hips forward or to the side, we want to make sure we do the opposite side, forward and back as well. So we need to have balance all 360 around our body. So our next movement we're going to do is my favorite, our supine, okay? So when we're doing a supine, whatever count you're holding, you want to double that. All right, so when we get our supine, we lay completely down on the ground with our feet touching, our knees touching, there we go, and our hands right underneath our shoulders, all right? So what I want to see, you guys, is your toes be on the ground. All right, toes on the ground, kind of pinching your toes. There we go. And then we're going to slowly push up, trying to get your shoulders to touch your feet. There we go. Slowly up, trying to get full extension. All right, so now let's get our knees off the ground by balancing ourselves on our toes. Good, so lift our knees up. As we lift our knees up, we're going to inhale, exhale. On our exhale, drop our hips. Remember to breathe, extend our elbows, and then we start our count.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Good. Keep our feet together.
9, 10.
Good. All right, and then we slowly go down. Keep our feet together. Good. All right, and then we're going to balance this now by coming back and sitting down to a butterfly. All right, now when we do our butterflies, we want to make sure that our feet are pulled in as nice as we can. Our feet are right even with each other. Good. We're going to push our knees down with our elbows, and we're going to keep our chest as close to the ground as we can while we're pushing our shoulders back. Okay, so as straight back as we possibly can, all right? And we're going to slowly go down while we bring our feet in and our knees down with a straight back. So everybody get a straight back. Good, and then bend at our waist. Good, bend at our waist as far as we can. Once you get as far as you can, don't have your head go forward. So we want to keep our head neutral with our shoulders. Good, all right, and then we start a count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, all right, and then we're back up, we release. Also for butterfly, for video purposes, we're only going to counts of 10, but when you are at home, supine and butterfly, you always want to make sure that you're doubling whatever your stretch is, doubling that count for supine and butterfly. All right, so then we're going to go out. Okay, so we're going to do exterior hip flexor. Okay, so we're going to have one foot up and we're going to cross over. All right, so make sure we get a little bit more of an extreme stretch. We're going to balance ourselves on our hands and on one foot. Okay, we're going to push our chest as close as we can, but we want our booties completely off the ground. Good. Once we get balanced, once our chest is close to our knee, that's balancing on the ground. Good. This should be our bent leg should be in a straight line. Once we can push ourselves forward, inch our hands closer to our body, inch our hands closer to our body, push yourself forward with a straight arm, then we start a count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, then we drop sit down. Good, we extend our leg that's on the ground, extend it out. There we go, and we go opposite. All right, so make sure that you guys are taking your time to get set up for this stretch. So we want to pull our hands in. Good, pull our hands in. Lift our booties off the ground. Good, all right, start our count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, then we release. Good. All right, and we release all the way out. All right, we actually do these stretches laying down on our back. We find that when we lay down on our back and we lift our shoulders off the ground, we can relieve a lot of our back pain, and actually get more of a stretch, okay? So you guys, we're going to lay down, and we're going to do laying butterfly, okay? So we're going to come up. Our feet are going to be touching. Both toes, balls, and heels of our feet are touching. We're going to push our knees down. We're going to lift our shoulder blades and head off the ground, tuck, contract our core. All right, and we're going to try and get our feet parallel as much as we can to the floor. All right, we don't want to have up and down feet. All right, so then we're going to drop our knees out. Try and here we go. Here we go. Try and there we go. Parallel to the floor feet. There we go. All right, and we're holding the tops of our ankles. Good, and then we start a count.
1, 2, 3.
Don't forget to breathe.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, and then we're down. All right, release. Good job, guys. Shake it out. All right, now we're going to go back to that exterior hip flexor that we just did a minute ago. So we're going to be laying. Okay, so we're going to be down. We're going to put our leg crossed over in front. Good, and then we're going to have our knee that's not in the stretch at a 90-degree angle with our toe up. Good, and we want to imagine that someone's pushing down, okay? So grab underneath your thigh. There you go, good. We want to lift our heads off the ground, still contracting our core. If we're not sweating after a stretch, we haven't stretched enough, okay? So we're going to pull in. Good. No, none of our hip bones are going to be closer to our shoulder than the other. So hip bones are aligned, shoulders are aligned, and then we start our stretch.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, and then we release slowly out. Good. All right. Opposite leg. And we start our count. Good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, and then we release and slowly out. Good job, girls. All right, now we're going to come back up and we're going to stretch our calves. One thing that we don't, I think in the volleyball world take enough time with is our calves. So we're going to go down. We do our calves a little bit different here. So let's go and get up, ready to stretch calves. All right, let's go 2 feet. So what I want to see is I don't care how close our body is to our feet, but I want our heels to be on the ground. So our heels, our feet, our bodies come in a little bit closer. All right, once our feet are on the ground, then we shift with our upper body out to get the stretch. Good, so we want to force our calves on the ground. Good, and when we do both, good, both ankles are together, both toes are together, knees are together. We make sure our shoulder, not one hand is farther out than the other, so our shoulders are even with each other. And we should be contracting our core right here to stabilize our calves. All right, here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good. All right, then we're going to lift one leg. Okay, when we lift one leg, we want to make sure, so our hips stay stable, that we lift, all right, to make sure that we're not having an arc in our body and both hips are even with each other. Good. So we want to point the toe that's out. Good. All right, now let's hold this. Hold it, hold it. Look, here we go. Don't drop your hip. There we go. Turn it up. There we go. Both hips even with each other. Look, bring this up just a little bit. There we go. We don't want one booty cheek lower than the other. There we go. All right, and we point the toe that's out with our foot that we're stretching completely on the ground. All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, and then we slowly come back down and switch. Get our heels on the ground. Good. All right, let's hear it count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, and then slowly back down. Good job. All right, now we're going to do our next stretch that we call a Spider-Man. So we're going to be down on the ground. All right, and we're going to roll our back on the ground. There we go, on our bellies. We're going to roll our opposite leg over, and we're going to try and get a full touch with our foot. All right, so what I want to see is this knee as straight as it can go down to the ground with the top of our foot down, this entire foot on the ground, and then both shoulders press down. All right, so this should feel uncomfortable. Good, so we want to try and get our foot up. Let's hold this for a little bit. Foot up, there we go, knee to the ground. Knee that's not bent, good, to the ground, laid flat. There we go, good. All right, here we go, knee down, good. All right, now let's get a count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, and then we're switching, slowly rolling over. Good. Good, and take the time to get there. So if you as a coach have to go around and move people, it's not going to hurt anyone to stay in this stretch a little bit longer. Good, pressing everyone's shoulders to the ground. There we go, spread your arms out just a little bit. Good, pressing our shoulders to the ground. Good, pressing our shoulders, pressing our shoulders. Good, get more. Good. All right, press that shoulder down. Here we go, press, press, press. Try and roll our knees as much as we can. All right. Now let's get a count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, and then we come back. Good, and then we push up to a stand-up. Good, all right, now we're going to stand up. We're going to do our sumo. Sumo is something that you can do I say to everybody, you cannot do a sumo enough. There's different ways to do it. We have a moderate sumo, and then we have a severe sumo. Okay, so right now we want to get everyone's legs wide, wider than our shoulders. Good, we're going to turn our feet out. completely. All right, we're gonna grab onto our knees and we're gonna drop our hips as much as we can. All right, so we're gonna push our shoulders back, chest forward, and our knees back. All right, we wanna try in this to get our feet turned completely even with each other. Good. So everything is working in the same line. All right, and we wanna make sure that our chest is up. Good, this works on balance, this works on hips, cores, shoulders. Make sure our back is, there we go, nice and flat. Okay, now, once you feel like your body is ready, good, arc it just a little bit more. Push your knees further back, push your pelvis forward, and then we start our count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, all right, then we stand up, we shake it out. All right, then we're gonna drop to severe. So right now we're gonna get as wide as we can, start with our feet closer. All right, slightly apart, a little bit further apart from each other. Good, all right, you're gonna grab onto your knees and you're gonna drop as far as we can, pushing back, and then we're gonna grab our ankles. With our elbows, we're gonna push back on our knees. Good, keeping our feet out, and then our chest nice and forward. Good, so chest up. Good, all right, once we feel balanced, we start our count.
1, 2,
Look up.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, and then we slowly come back up. Good, now we're gonna do an extended quad. So now we're gonna go up with our hand behind our head. And we're gonna reach down our back. Good, we're gonna take our opposite foot, or the hand that we bend, we're gonna take that leg and grab with our opposite foot. All right, so we wanna make sure our shoulders are even, our hand is inching down, our knees are together, good, and our leg is straight, and our pelvis is thrusted forward. There we go, so legs straight, knee to knee, hips forward. All right, here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, slowly down, and then we switch. Take the time to make sure that there we go, everyone is having their shoulders back and their hips forward. Shoulders back, hips forward. Good, good, there we go, keep yourself closed, hips forward. All right, and then we get a count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, and then we slowly come back down. Our next stretches that we're gonna do is versions of straddle stretches. So what we're gonna do with this, it takes some time to get in the right position for this, but it's worth it. So look, right now, Sydney's got her legs bent across. This is where we all start, okay? So then we're gonna extend this leg. We're gonna put our weight on our hands, have our hands in front of our bodies. Good, and we're gonna shift over, all right? So what we want for this first is our foot to be flat on the ground. Good, flat completely on the ground. We don't wanna be resting on our front foot, all right? So if we're resting on our front foot, you guys bring your feet forward. Good, so we're not resting on it. All right, so we want our toes going completely back. All right, good. And then we're gonna inch our hands a little bit closer to us. Good, and then push our shoulders back and chest forward. There we go, then we get a count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, then we slowly come back around and rotate our bodies. Good, and then we switch sides. Good, all right, then we're gonna extend back out, slowly, making sure that both hips are even with each other and our foot is right behind our shoulder. So shift your foot just a little bit more over, laying it right down, good. Go ahead and bring your foot out a little bit so you're not resting on it more. There we go, good. All right, inch ourselves forward, throw our shoulders back, chest forward, straight back, and let's get a count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, good, so then we're gonna bring it around. So that's our first version of a straddle stretch. All right, then we're gonna go back to our other knee that we started on. All right, this is a little bit more extreme. So then we're gonna extend our back leg out, okay? So extending our back leg out, we're on our toe, our knee is coming off the ground, our front foot is coming out a little bit further away from our body. Further, 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 even further away, good. And we're gonna keep our knees off the ground. Good, and take a deep breath and drop our hips, all right? So we want our chest back, good. Trying to keep our knee off the ground, we're balanced with our weight on our hands, good, and our toe. All right, Let's get a count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, good job, girls. Bring it around. Good, and we're on our toe. Good, we extend out. Foot, there we go. Take the time to really be aware of our bodies and figure out that our foot is right behind our shoulder. Our weight's balanced on our hands and our toe. Good, our knees are off the ground. Let's get a count.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, then we bring it around. Good job. All right, then we always want to finish with touching our toes again. So we touched our toes standing up. Now we want to touch sitting. All right, so let's go down, reaching, and let's get a count. All right, good job, girls.